Welcome to another episode of TRILL TV. I'm your host, Coach Bailey.
This is TRILL TV. 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 Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of TRILL TV. I'm your host, Coach Bailey. And today, I got another special guest. Her name is Ebone Dansby.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm super excited.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're excited. I'm honored. I really am. Listen, your words go far, and you know our roots run deep.
Yes.
So it literally, like when you asked me, I was like, yeah, but you know, I got love for you, and what you do, I believe in. So if you say and if you ask, I'm going to try to deliver.
So it's funny that you said that, right?
Yeah.
Like our roots run very deep, and I knew if I asked you to come on the podcast, I knew it was gonna be a fight. But I knew you was gonna say yes.
You gotta tell the people.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean?
Yes,
like, I knew it was gonna be a fight, but I knew you was gonna tell me yes. And a lot of times when I bring guests on, the first thing I do before we even get into any questions, like, I gotta give you your flowers. Like, you feel me? Because when I came down here, the first time I came down here, we did our play.
Yeah.
Silent Whisper came down here. We did that play. You saw the play. Not Ebony. Your sister. Ashley.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Really was there for me.
Absolutely.
You was like, hey, I need you to come to our school to speak to our boys.
So raw talent is something that is often missed because you don't do things for the likes.
Right.
I'm not one who, I don't have a social media, you know, and all of that. So it's one of those things to where I do it for the ones who I'm trying to impact.
Right.
When I saw what you did, my heart literally was like blown away. This, I'm gonna tell you, literally, you know, I had the twins.
Yes.
3 weeks after you were preaching your sermon. It was against everything, including all the mothers of the church and everything. But because I knew you have such a raw gift in what you do, and you don't need a fanfare, and I love people who don't need that. You do it strictly just because this is what you have in your heart. This is a passion, but it goes beyond that. It is a calling.
Yes.
And so when I saw that, I'm like, dang, like, because it's not something that you see often to where people are it's like, this is who I am.
Right.
You can take away all the cameras, and this is what I do. This is what you will find me doing. You can remove everything. You can remove my likes, and this is what I do. And when I saw that in you, it was like, this is a gift.
Right.
But some people have the gift, but they don't realize that it's a calling. And for you to see that, I was like, oh my gosh. And so I'm like, why aren't you trying to take this on the road? And you're like, I am.
Yeah.
And when I realized that you were, and that the doors were being shut in your face, it was a moment for me because I remember in Toledo doing the same thing.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a minute, what I'm doing right here is just in my heart. Yes. I don't need anybody to back me. And when I saw that in you, it was like, oh my gosh, like this is really what you feel. This is who you are. And it's like an alter ego, but it is so real and raw because you're quiet by nature. But when you get in front of, like, you know, your audience, which is just like, you know, the youth who need to hear it, you turn into it's like your superpower. Yeah. And I was like, this is who we need. Like, who's coming? Him. What do you mean him? He's by himself. Trust me, he can do it. We could put him in a room and he's gonna, and literally, like, to watch you touch the lives of those kids was so moving for me. And it was a moment to where I was like, man, like, it's like, I felt like me and my other partner, my teaching partner at the time, we saw something that nobody else was seeing because you had this great gift that no one was recognizing. And it's what is needed. And I don't understand why it's like the kids need water and food, but we're giving them, you know, extracurricular activities. You know what I mean? And so that's how I felt like, and they responded to you that way.
Yes. And I promise you, like, I humbly receive that.
Yeah.
And this is why I need to give you your flowers, because I truly appreciate you. You are an amazing woman. You are a great mother.
Thank you.
You walk that Christian walk. You are a great educator, and I love you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you for everything.
Thanks.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity when ain't nobody else give me an opportunity. So I appreciate that.
And you know that.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna call you Rev on here, right?
No, you
ain't.
Okay,
good.
No, listen.
Okay, all right.
We
cool,
ain't, listen,
cool.
Hey, whoever watching this, we ain't switching up for the cameras. Like, this is real. She called me Rev.
Okay? That's his nickname. That's what he about to be.
She been calling me Rev
what it is. All right.
forever. Now, she can call me Rev, but y'all don't call me Rev now.
Don't do it.
All right?
Exactly. Yes.
You can call me Rev. So now we gonna really, get into you. Because I think, just like you said, I have a calling on my life, and I have an amazing gift.
Yes.
Like, I believe that you have a calling on your life, and you have an amazing gift, like, for real. So I know who Ebony is, but tell our listeners who Ebony is, and out of all the careers you could have chosen, why did you become an educator?
Wow, that's loaded. I feel like it chose me.
Okay.
I feel like the path chose me. My parents will tell you that, and my uncle, at a young age, I used to say that I wanted 22 kids. I come from a big family, right? Who says 22? That? Wow. Coming from a family of there's 5 of us. My bonus sister is 6. It is one of those things to where there were always people around, and so we grew up in a both sides have a large family, but there was always people around, and so I loved babysitting. Where some would like not, I loved it, but it was like I want to. And so my uncle would tell me, like, hey, the only way that you're going to get 22 kids is a bus. Right. Well, then I'm going to be driving a bus. Like, that's what it is. And I'm talking about like 6, 7 at this point. Like when I'm having that, this is what I want. And so I knew that this was something that I like desired. It didn't click to me, and I think until 7th grade that this is what I wanted. Okay. And then 8th grade, after having the experience that I did at the Hope Center, shout out to the Hope Center in Lima, Ohio. Reverend Dr. Montfort, I love you. I love the Hope Center. That's when I found where I wanted to be. Okay. It was an inner city program that he created that was brilliant and before its time. And it brought, it was a summer program. Okay. To where you had, church folks, those who were not church folks, but they came here. It was in the city, and they provided we did all the things, but it was just this great mix of like, here's what we needed to do, all educated people, and who really, really cared about. And I paused there because you didn't find that, and I will talk about my K-6 experience. You didn't find the care. Right. They cared about the kids and academically where they were. Right. When I started working here, I was in college. So I had already decided that this is what I wanted to do, but it was genuine. I had started like volunteering before that point. And it was just something to where, my mom, it was very near and dear to her heart because it was on the south side of Lima where she grew up. And it was like, if not for this is where I could be. Right. And so knowing that the only separation that many of us have between the haves and the have-nots are the opportunities, it was like, oh, this is definitely what I want to do. Definitely, I want to help be that bridge between those that need and those that have a little bit more. Right. Yeah. That's so that's good. How long have you been teaching? Gosh, 22 years. 22 years, right? So out of the 22 years you have been teaching, what were some of your best moments working in the classroom with those kids? And maybe your administrator or some of the staff member, what were some of those highlighted moments that just bless your heart? That's a good one. Always, you said it, no offense to it's always with the kids. Yes. Like those are the ones that move me because you have these kids who, I do middle school. That's I've done a little bit of everything, but middle school is where my heart is at. And I think it's because it's right before you get to high school. And that's, I feel like it's the make or break point. Right. Either you're going to change and get it together before you go to high school,
right,
or you're not. And so it's like, maybe I can say something or do something, or a light bulb will go on and you can get it together and we can change the pathway of where you're going. So I think seeing those kids who had just given up and their parents had given up, and seeing them turn it around. And for me, I tell my kids, like, I get you in 7th grade, I get you in 8th grade. You're not done until I get a graduation invitation from high school. So seeing some of those kids to where they were like, they will not make it. And seeing those boys, and I say boys because many of them were Black boys who would put those graduation invitations in my hand, in my mailbox, their parents would email.
Yes.
That's the greatest gift. When you have shown somebody who society and told you that you couldn't, and you've shown them that they could. It's a confidence, really.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, that's real because, let's be honest, you worked in one of the toughest schools in Columbus City, right? Like, in me going in there and listening and watching them boys, like, respect you as if you were their mother, because to some of them, like, you were a mother. To some of them, you were a sister, a big sister, or a mentor. Like,
some call me the granny, which we will talk about. Like, granny, what? But no, seriously, that's true. Yeah,
they loved you. Because they knew that you genuinely cared for them.
That's the part.
You
know that's
what I mean?
Why I say care. With the Hope Center, it was a thing to where I had seen there were many different programs that I was a part of and that I would volunteer with and be a part, but it was the care that the Hope Center showed. I mean, all of the people who worked, they knew, I know who you are, I know who your mama, like all of that. And there was a family, there was a connection that the kids knew. When I walk into here, not only do you see me, but you know my people, right? Yes. And even if you know that my people aren't about, you've recognized the greatness in me and you're trying to help me turn it around. Right. So to see some of those boys who were like just hellions, and the girl, like, who were, when I had them, and to know, at 21 and 22 and 25 that they're doing great things, that's the greatest gift that you can ask for. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we talked about some of your highlights. What were some of the challenges you faced within those 22 years?
The opposite of the word that you said, hopelessness. I think, and that word brings, because there's so many kids that I see to where it's like, no matter what I say or do, you're gone, right? It's like you were trying to revive someone who is flatlined. Right. That was hard. Right. Because it was hard for me to give up. Right. But there were times to where I knew that if I didn't let go, or if I continued to care at the level that I was caring, I was going to bring the whole class down. Yeah. And that was hard. That was so hard. That was the hardest point, because you never want to be that person who comes in contact and it's like, I'm your lifeline, right? Right. And you don't know that it's time for you to grab it. But yeah.
But here is the thing that you said, and this, again, like, I am a very visual person, so especially when people speak, like, I am visualizing some of the people that you tried to save, or that you had an impact on. Like, so my mind is trying to paint that picture. So in my mind, I see this individual, right? The key word you said was, or not the key word, one of the words you said was flatline, right? So we know when somebody flatline, we know that they're gone. Right. Right?
So it was hard for me to come in contact with kids, because I remember, it's like you said, I'm visual. So I remember I would put myself in there, like, at 14, you've given up and you've said, F it, I'm willing to die for this, that, the third, because there's nothing else that I have to live for. That for me, and so it's one thing to say it. Yeah. It's another thing to live it out. Yes. And that was the part for me to be in a space to where education is not your main thing. It's, did my babies make it to me safe? Right. Do my babies have a pathway to get back home safe. You know, this one here, you know, you get the call at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock because we were family, because you had to be as far as our staff was concerned. And so, you know, this one didn't. And I remember it was a period of time to where it was like, man, 8 to 10 weeks. And I felt like we were losing one once a week.
Right.
And these are babies. These are kids. And to be in that space to where you're just like, I'm willing to let it all go. That was hard because it goes beyond all of the, you know, content standards. This is life. We're dealing with life. And if I can't teach you that your life has meaning, right, I'm teaching to a wall. Right. And that's the problem that we had. That's the disconnect. It's a disconnect in education. Because you have so many talented educators who are teachers, I will say. There's a difference between a teacher and an educator.
I agree with that.
Who are teaching, right? And I'm going to teach you from here, and I'm going to make it, and we're gonna beat, you know, all of the things and what they say, and I'm gonna give you all of this content. But I've left you at the starting line because you are still thinking about everything that you have going on. So I'm one of those ones to where I'm not gonna talk to an empty room. Right. What? You're about to come along on this journey. I've got mine. Your paycheck's the same. Yes, it's going to be the same, but it's not. This doesn't make sense if you're not doing it with me. Right. So if you're not doing it, well, let's figure out why. And so that was the hardest part I think for me, when I would run the gamut of trying to figure out, okay, it's not me, it's you. I got to pull somebody in like Rev who can make that connection, because you're looking at me and my pearls or my dress or my whatever, and you're like, man, this lady don't know what she's talking about, right? So I'm gonna bring somebody in who does. And when you do that and those connections aren't made in time, I will say, that's hard.
And that's again, hard. So I like watching TV on my spare time, right? Yeah. And last summer, the show that I was watching was The Residents. All right. And then there's one episode, somebody, like, it was a doctor, and one of his close patients had just, flatlined. But you can see him in there. Yes. Still trying to revive. Me. Yes. And that's the picture that I'm getting when I'm talking to you, though. You feel me?
It's like, I've worked with so many great people who will pull me off of those kids. Right. In order to save my own personal children, because I'm still trying to pour into a corpse. Yes. And it is like, I'm running outside. Oh, it's a drive-by. I mean, like, thinking, it's not that I feel that I was invincible, but you really feel that, okay, God, if you've given me this gift, sometimes it's a burden. It's a weight. Yes. Right? So why did you put this on me? I don't want to care this much. I don't, because the caring is hindering me from living my regular life. But man, that's the part when you feel like you can't, you want to be able to touch and save and do all of that. And when you feel like your words or your connections can't do that, because I don't feel that I'm, great. It's a community thing. So I recognized early on that I don't know enough. Right. But I know enough to know that, as one of my mentors would say, we is better than me, right? And so things go better when we work together. So in the community, that was the great Brother Kelly who said that, may he rest in peace. And that meant something to me. So it's in your community. If you don't have it, somebody else does. And so for me, it was like, oh, my job is just to connect you as a teacher. Okay. And when I couldn't connect them, that was hard. So we're about to transition a little bit, right? Yeah. So how long did you work in the classroom? 22 years, right? Yeah. So in 22 years, you worked in the classroom. There was a point in time where you was like, man, it's time for me to transition out of the classroom and really focus on the program that God has put on your heart. Yes. Right? Yes. So what is the name of your program and what do it stand for and why did you create it? I feel like my education journey started that way. It started out in the community.
Right.
And so the 22 years that I spent in the classroom were, where I served in the classroom, were learning spaces for me. I feel that the community or what I have, Pinnacle Education Consulting, was always something that was birthed in me.
Right.
And it was just all of the things that I saw over the 22 years.
Right.
To where families needed, that they didn't know that they had access to, or that they even sometimes deserved. And that was a problem for me.
Okay.
And so to be able to connect, families with other opportunities is the word, right? And showing them that it's not this cookie cutter thing that you're shown, because it doesn't work for everybody. It didn't work for me.
Right.
I was, I'm a product of someone who was homeschooled, Christian private school, public school, all of it.
Right.
Urban, rural area, all of it, suburban, I did it all.
Right.
And so to know that the education journey is not one that looks the same for everybody, and trying to be that space or that connection where parents and families can look and say, I don't know, and to try to step in and to provide those services.
Right. Mm-hmm. So give me an example of what services that you may be able to provide a parent or a student.
Yes. The biggest one that I think that I have is advocacy and support.
Okay.
So oftentimes, definitely when you're talking in the underrepresented communities and the marginalized communities, you have many parents who come to the school, and it's an intimidating spot.
Right.
Because a lot of times it was intimidating for you as a student.
Right.
So for me to come in here now and you're calling me because my kid is acting out or whatever the case may be, you want me to do, and I don't know, because I barely made it through or didn't make it through. You tell me what you want me to do.
Right.
And a lot of people would take that personal. I don't take it personal, because we're supposed to be the experts.
Right.
So let me give you some tools. And let's talk, okay, so does he have this? Does she have this? And if not, then let's figure out how to get it.
Right.
And that's the part. And so it's the advocating for the family and the education of the child.
Yes.
And okay, so if there's some gaps, let's try to figure out how to get those. And that comes with the support. Yeah.
And I think that that's key, because a lot of our families or a lot of our parents, they're limited as far as when it comes to education.
Yes, yes.
And they only know so much. So they need people to be able to go in the school district and be able to advocate for them.
And not on this judgy way.
Right.
Like I use the whole thing. This is what I say. So sports and me are, we're not very good friends, but I will do it.
Right.
Right. I will watch it. But if you put me in a school where everybody is a top-notch athlete, I'm going to be the kid acting out, because I'm not I'm going to be last picked. I don't have the skills. You can try to teach me the skill, but all of these people have skills.
Yes.
And so that is what we're doing to many of our students. We are putting them in positions to where they lack the skills that's needed, and we're saying perform.
Right.
But we're not giving them the tools to perform.
Right.
We're not giving them the skills and additional time. So if everybody else is, hey, this is training day for everybody else and we're doing it, if you don't get extra practice time, of course I'm gonna fail.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what we're doing. And so it was just trying to be that space, because that's where my education journey started out, was in the community, and coming alongside of different schools, through churches, through my own programs, and just kind of coming back, because over the years, that's been the missing puzzle, is the partnership with the community. Some say it, but we really don't do it.
I agree.
There needs to be a thing in every community, and especially those ones that are underrepresented, to where one of the professional developments should just be showing you what's who are your community partners, and how can you reach out to them?
Right.
Because we don't know it all.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So let's dig into your educational journey, right? So growing up as a kid, what was your educational experience? What was your educational experience?
Yeah. So I will say this. I think that every kid comes in wanting to learn.
Right.
I come from a big family, and I come from my parents wanting to, first generation wanting to give their kids what they didn't have.
Right.
Okay. And so I can speak on theirs, not too much because they speak on it, but literally being the generation that broke the curses of, all of the things, like all of it. And for our kids, we want this. So, starting out in kindergarten, I was excited. Let's do this. Like, I want to go. I want to, go to school, make my friends. I had friends. And my first experience that I remember, some would say now core memory, was being, it's circle time. That's what happens in kindergarten. It's like it's circle time. And I wasn't being called to circle time. And I didn't understand why. I thought it was like, I was bad, or maybe I was moving or too wiggly or whatever the case may be. It took a friend of I had a friend in class. She had, her older sister was a friend of my sister's who ended up telling her that, it's day 5, day 6, and I haven't been called to circle time. What was going on? Well, as time passed, it just was that, we'll call him Mr. Anonymous, was what I now know was racist. And I was one of the only black kids in the class. And he wasn't happy that I was placed in his class. Well, Kevin and Regina Dansby, Mom and Pop, got involved, and, thankful to my sister who was that voice for me.
Okay.
Because I didn't have it, because it was like, for me, I'm doing something wrong in the class. That's why I'm not, being called into these spaces. And that's how many of our kids feel. It's the voice that you take away. So in kindergarten, that was taken away from me.
Okay.
I'm doing something wrong. I wasn't. And so, time went on. I was placed in Mrs. Anonymous class, and I had an amazing kindergarten year. First grade comes, and I'm at the end of the year, and I'm reading up a storm. So I thought. And I went to school in a suburb of Detroit where they were doing whole language reading. Okay. Which means that you read what you see, right? Okay. So you're reading words, and you don't have to phonetically sound out the words. But I was reading, and the thought behind that is we don't want to damage the mental psyche of the child, saying that you're wrong. Well, yes and no, right? Because now I'm at the end of first grade going into second grade, and I couldn't read. And I didn't know that until my older sister, shout out to her again, told my parents, because I came home and I'm reading all of these books in my, reading bag. And she was like, you're reading these from, your book's turned upside down. Like, you're not even reading the words. I'm like, yes, I am. Like, I have all the stars. And right. So she gave me another book that was on the same level, and it broke my heart because I was reading, by the pictures. And so parents, did some research and found out that I couldn't read and pulled me from public school and homeschooled me. Right. Well, I thought that was the worst thing, but that was the saving grace for me at that time, because my mom, who was not an educator by trade, but, by spirit, saved my life with the McGuffey reader and taught me for 2 years with the homeschool curriculum how to read correctly. Shout out to your mom. And exactly. I mean, yes. She saved it. It was a saving thing, and I hated it. Right. And it was one of those things that now, as an educator, I know. Like, I had a 90-minute reading block. Okay, I'm going to say that again. A 90-minute reading block. That is an intervention reading period that every child who is failing or below should have. That's what you need in order to succeed. Right. You can't get the same 30 minutes that everybody else is having. So I would have been that kid that was in the smaller classrooms that had an IEP, if not for my mom, and this was not her, educational knowledge. This was just her knowing my kid needs more time in reading because she cannot do this yet. Right. And that's the part to where it's like that was her faith, her knowledge, her, her doing her research, the church community and just other people that she, had kind of connected with, and they connected with her and my dad. But it was genuinely something that my mom took on, and she did it for 2 years. And so after that, she was like, you're not ready. You're not ready to go back into public school. We did, private school for 2 years, 4th and 5th. So in 6th grade, I went back, and it was heartbreaking that a lot of the kids that I was in 1st grade, they couldn't read, like genuinely could not read. And I did not understand that, like, wait, that's not that word. That's not that, but that's what was happening in education.
Right. So when you found out that you struggle with reading, how did that affect your self-esteem?
Those were the lowest years of, I think that if we would have been a society that was as woke as we were with like the language of mental health, those were the lowest years for me, because I was at the top of my class. Yeah. And so to be this kid that it's like you can't read. Yeah. I just spent a whole year learning how to read. Yeah. And school's fun for me. And so my 2nd grade year was awful. I hated it. Everything about reading I loathed it. Yeah. And it was something to where, I would cry. I would, give myself rashes, and I would, my mom, we had to, even though it was homeschool, my mom, that's why I had to do this with my own kids during, you're getting up, you're going to shower, you're going to get dressed, you're going to do this. Like, we had a space for it every day. It was none of this, like, you're going to take, your schooling on the couch. No, we had our own school in our house. And so, but when reading time came, I had to do that with her. Right. And so everything else I could do on my own, and she would come and check, but reading time, I had to do that with her. And for 90 minutes, sometimes she would give me a break, and then it was 2 hours. Right. And I literally loathed it for my 2nd grade year. Yeah. And then, the assignment was, now you have to choose a reading series to read. What? Yeah. I got to read on top of read. Yeah. But it was the strength, it was the practice that was happening with that. And she, we would go to the library, and then we would go to the store, and she would, and babysitting was my thing. Yeah. Okay, let's find you some books on babysitting. Babysitting's your babysitter's club. So that's what I started reading, and I got into that because it was something that I was interested in.
That's good.
It was not.
That's good.
It wasn't easy. It was a fight. Yeah.
And I asked that because, and I'm on the same page as you, right? Because I struggle with reading, and a lot of times people don't realize that and I'm saying a teacher, you may think the kid is coming to your class and acting up because he just want to be a butthole.
For sure.
But that may not even be the reality, though. The reality is,
I don't want to tell you I can't read.
Right.
And so picture this. This is my thing. So as a 1st grader, that was okay, right?
Right.
Because all of us were in this boat.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 6th grade, those same kids were horrible. Yeah. They were so bad. They were like literally, getting called down to the office. And I didn't understand because we were all these sweet kids in 1st grade. Yeah. But now it's this thing to where, oh man, they're writing on the playground, stuff outside and all. And I'm mind blown. Like, what did I miss? I've been to go. But it's because I don't want you to know that we're sitting down and boom, you're going to call on her to read this. You're going to call on her to read this. Yes. Then it's, what?
Yes.
No, I'm not doing this. Yes. So then I'm going to push my thing off. Yes. I'm going to pretend like I'm asleep. I'm going to do all of these things to take the attention away from, I don't know how to do this task because I have to save face at this moment. I would have been that girl. Right. If not for my sister who recognized and my parents who acted on it.
Do you have a child who struggles or needs some extra academic support? If so, click the Q&R code. Read Efficient, empowering academic excellence in reading and math, one session at a time. Me and Talon just had a conversation. Yeah. Right? when I was in the car, Ashlyn was at track training. We had a conversation in the car because again, she's an intervention specialist.
Yeah.
She loved reading foundations, all that. So I said to her, like, I asked her, I said, is there a difference between, you know, being illiterate and struggling with reading? You feel me? Like, I had that conversation with her because I used to love school. But the moment I got to middle school and they pulling me out to go read and people like, where you going? Now I feel embarrassed. In elementary school, it was cool because they like, it wasn't just me, it was just a lot of people. Like, you see what I'm saying? So now I'm getting pulled out and now I'm starting not to like school. So now when I get to high school, they like Miss Meeks, great teacher. Great teacher. I love Miss Meeks. And Miss Meeks, if you are alive and you hear this, I apologize. I only skipped your class and acted up and made you kick me out because I struggle with reading. In my mind, if you call on me, I'm going to flip out so you can kick me out because I don't want to be embarrassed.
That's it.
You see what I'm saying?
You have to save face, right? Like that. So that's why I use the thing. I have zero. Listen, I have a lot of some skills. Sports is not it. But I could be a great coach just because I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, you can do. Throw me in. Out of 10 shots, I'm going to make one if God is on my side, right? So like I said, if you put me in a spot to where this is my day in and day out, and I'm around all of these top-notch athletes or these people who and this is what I'm, you know, for 8 hours, I'm in this space. This plays on your mental psyche. You're less than. No, I'm not. And you know, you're not as good as. You're not this. You're not that. And that's what education has become. Because we've created these spaces to where this is, and the kids feel like it's a fight or flight. Right? I have to. No. I'm not about to sit up here and let you see my weakness.
No, not at all.
So then, therefore, I'm gonna turn this whole classroom up. Because until you can listen, I need some one-on-one. One-on-one, we can talk. But you're not about to front me out in front of all these people and ask me to do anything. You know I can't do. And that's the part to where it's like putting ourselves in those positions, because there's something that all of us struggle with. There's something that if you go back, there's an insecurity that we have. And you are just gnawing on that insecurity each and every day. But there's nothing that I'm doing to help you fix it. I am just showing you every day how you're back here and we're going here every day. Right. And so if there's not, and that's why I like, you know, when Talon said like, oh, I'm going out and I'm doing the OG training. Because the kids will be able to see I'm here, but I moved here, right? Because there's not that space to do that in the day. We're all reading this novel. What do you mean I'm about to read a novel? What do you mean? And then you want me to answer questions about? I don't understand any of this. And so now it's become common to where it's like, okay, you know, we're giving the tools. You can't read it, you can listen to it. Perfect. That was not back in my day. You know, we didn't grow up that way.
I just said that to Talon.
We didn't grow up that way.
I just said that to her.
Shout out to some of my dopest educators who do this and who have shown me that this is still okay. And will, I'm not going to say her name, but you know who I'm talking about, to where she will do novels at the highest level, but will tell the kids and encourage the kids to listen to it versus just reading it. You will teach Shakespeare. You will teach higher level reading, because I don't believe in dumbing things down, but I do believe in giving kids, you know, the ladder to get where it's at. And the audiobooks, that's where it's at.
So it's crazy. Like, I just asked Talon that question because I'm like, again, I'm all about finding a solution, because we're about to transition into the power of reading. Because this is just a great segue into it. But I just asked Talon, like, what is the solution? Because when I had to read a book in college, like, It was called The Copper Sun. I knew that I was not about to sit down and I was about to read that book because I was going to stumble over all those words. And this is Ronald Bailey after he got his bachelor's degree. I was 2 years, I was a special ed teacher. So I'm going to go take those extra reading classes that I needed. But I couldn't read it. But what I did was I went to go get the audio book. And I sat there and I followed along and the book was amazing. So I said to Talon, if I read,
it's key.
Or if you read to me, it's still reading. It's still reading.
So here's the thing: when you think about some of my favorite moments in college were listening to high-level speaking professors who would, they would read a part of a speech. They would read a part of, the book. And as they're reading it, you were hearing it in a different voice.
What?
Why is this something to where it's a key that unlocks a door that has been closed? Why were we holding this key hostage for so long? So now you've unlocked this for so many kids who feel like, this is it.
Yes.
And so when you talk about highlight moments, those kids of mine who would come in and wavering their questions because they were able to sit and listen to this book, got my questions done because I know I can listen. I know how to comprehend.
Yes.
I know my vocabulary is off the charts. It's the comprehension of me reading it because I don't know the reading fluency of this and decoding it. By the time I decode this, you can't ask me any comprehension questions about this.
So in elementary, like I knew how to see a passage. I don't know every word in the passage, but I can go to the question and be like, I can match this word right here with this word in the passage and understand it's multiple choice. I can find the answer. But after a while, when the higher you go, the harder it gets.
Absolutely.
Like, let's be honest. I remember, and this is where, again, when it comes to tests and kids struggle with reading, I remember my junior year, me going into Dayton, because we was in Dayton. We had to run a track meet and I had to go take the ACT. I went in there and I opened up that book. Ebony, when I told you I saw them words and I almost cried and I just put my head down and I just marked anything because I'm like, man, I don't understand. I don't, these analogies they give me, these big old words that I can't even pronounce.
Absolutely.
Like, man, how do you expect me to be successful when I'm taking this test?
Exactly.
It was a struggle.
It is a barrier.
It was the worst feeling in the world.
Yes.
Worst feeling in the world.
And that's what it's supposed to be. And I feel that many of those standardized tests, that's what it's set up to do. It is set up to make you, it's like pulling at your confidence. And I feel like a parent asked me, like, what did you do different? Built their confidence. Told them that they could do it.
Yes.
Because so many places in their educational journey showed them that they couldn't. And so when you tell them, you got this, you can, and they believe you, and it's like, oh no, we're doing it. Okay, this way don't work, that's fine. There are several avenues when you need to get to Easton. We come from different ways.
Yes.
Let's figure out another way.
Yes. It's key. Yeah. It's very, very key because a lot of people don't understand. Like, when you tell a kid you struggle with reading, they don't hear the piece that you say you struggle with reading. They hear, I'm stupid.
I know.
You dumb. You illiterate.
Exactly.
You can't read. Those are the words that they hear in their mind. So they begin to shut down.
Oh, for sure. Like, absolutely. And so imagine the kids who come to me by 8th grade.
Yes.
The wall that has been built up because I've had to do just that in order to protect myself for so many years.
So let's transition.
Yeah.
When you hear the phrase, the power of reading, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Is that the one that you texted me earlier?
Yep.
Okay. Freedom.
And freedom.
No, and the thing is, but when you texted me, I literally,
Let's be transparent.
Okay, that's it.
Yes,
when you text me, I didn't read it all, and when I texted, I was like, wait, did I read that right?
Yeah.
So that's why I want it, because that's it.
Yes.
The power of reading, it's freedom for me. That's
Yes.
it. Because when you think about that, you think about, oh, it gives me chills, because you can unlock anything. You can do anything. If you want to put together, I don't have that desire to put anything together.
Yes.
But if you have the desire to put something together, you can read and do it.
Yes.
To go get a job, you can read, because there's a test that you have to take in order to do everything. I tell my kids all the time, great, I get it. School might not be the thing, but it is a stepping stone that you have to get to in order to get to the next phase of whatever you want to do for your life.
Yes.
If you are unable to read, it is like you are that caged bird that Maya Angelou talks about. You are literally flapping your wings and you cannot get out. And that is it's so very scary. And there's so many of our kids that we leave inside of that cage, without giving them. That's why I said it's a key.
That's
audio
crazy.
reading, it's a key. Unlock the cage. Give them the key.
Unlock
right?
the cage. Unlock the cage. So I got to look at my notes.
Yeah.
And some of y'all probably like, oh man, you always got the computer up here. I do. These are my notes.
Yeah.
And I'm always have it up here. You know what I mean?
I can bring my notes. Right,
I'm always have it up here because this is what helped me.
Yeah.
I know my weaknesses.
Yeah.
I know what I need to help me be able to present and to get my point across.
Yes.
So you said freedom. You said that cage bird. When I thought about that phrase, I thought about freedom. And I thought about empowerment. And I'm a big person that I gotta look up the word to see the meaning, because I gotta break it down. So when I looked up freedom, it said the power and authority to act, speak, and think. Right? Then I looked up empowerment, the authority or power given to someone or something. Right? So if I don't give you hope, if I don't pour into you and make you believe that you are a great reader, you're not gonna believe that you are a great reader.
Not at all.
I'm a coach.
That's it.
I mean, I'm a coach.
That's it.
There's some people who lack skill.
Yes.
I don't tell them like, hey man, you lack skill.
Yeah.
I say, hey man, you got the ability, you keep working. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna be fine.
Yes.
You're gonna be great.
Yes.
I just need you to operate in your role and your ability.
Yes.
That's all I need you to do.
You said you're a coach,
Yes.
right? So here's the thing, that I feel that sometimes in education, we have forgotten the coaching part.
Yes.
And we do more dictating. And there's a difference. You can't reach the audience, because when you get the students, when you get they're coming to you in their most vulnerable state.
Yes.
You know everything about them.
Yes.
And so, and this doesn't mean that you run your classroom without rules, because listen, you know me, you know how I roll. It is, I am the queen of the castle.
Yeah.
This is our home. And so it's the same thing at home. Like, these are the house rules. We're not going to disrespect our house, because this is our house.
Yes.
And when you teach them the pride in that.
Yes.
And there's a freedom that comes with it. It's a beautiful thing. But I feel when you said coaching, we have switch from coaching to more of it's like the dictatorship is how I feel, and we are losing so many kids that way. We are.
So again, let's go back to the locked in the cage, because again, in order for me to gain more knowledge, like I have to read. Even though I struggle with reading, I have to read. Right. Because we all heard of the phrase, knowledge is power.
Yes, for sure.
So I said, man, knowledge is power. We say that all the time. So I'm like, man, I'm about to talk about knowledge is power on here, because we talking about the power of reading.
Absolutely.
I want to know who came up with that phrase. So again, I go to Google or whatever, and I type it in, like, who made up knowledge is power. So it came up that Sir Francis, right? He was a English philosopher back in the late or early 1700s. I mean, 17th century, right? He came up with knowledge is power. So in my mind, I'm thinking like 17th century, like back then, like when he said knowledge was power, he wasn't talking to us. Let's be real.
Let's be real.
You see what I'm saying? He wasn't talking to us because we was cage birds.
That's it.
We was locked in the cage.
That's it. That's
you
the
feel
part.
me?
Yes.
So we was locked in the cage. We was cage birds. So he wasn't talking to us. So when I'm thinking about like reading is a skill, because we was talking about basketball, we talking about skill. Reading is a skill that can unlock your superpower.
It unlocks.
But back then it couldn't unlock your superpower,
and
man.
Back then, if you were trying to unlock it, you were killed.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There was a huge consequence that you received. What? You can read. You're not illiterate. Like that was a thing. And so that it is there's a few different phrases that stick out to me. And again, it took me, like the cage bird was something like Paul Laurence Dunbar was, like in studying that, it was like, I mean, when you hear it, you're thinking cage birds. Oh yeah, all birds are in a cage. That makes sense. No, because my wings, I'm not working the way that I should work. So when you think about that, and I had my 8th grade boys, I say this, to where we dissected Paul Laurence Dunbar, because I needed them to understand and draw me. When you think of a cage bird, what do you think of? Why is this so? Okay, what does this mean? He is, okay, so now there is blood. Why is there blood? Because I'm not supposed to be this way, right? And we have the key, the knowledge that I know is power, but it's not your key. So for me, when I educate, it's power.
It's power.
It's a power that cannot be taken away from you. You can, once you learn it, you can't unlearn it.
Yes.
And so it's like, it's one of those things to where it is a superpower, right? Like, what? Pick up, I don't care what you read. My mom, I don't care, because again, kind of love my brothers. I don't care what you read. Read something.
Read something.
And so in my house, that's still the rule.
Right.
Summertime, I am an educator at heart, so it's like I try to, unwind, detox. We bring things down. We have more family time, but you are reading something, and we are going to have time to work, because I want to be in your work. What you reading? Now tell me, because that's what my parents did.
Right.
What are you reading? Well, I'm reading the Babysitters Club. Like, my mom don't care about it.
Right.
But she wanted to make sure, number one, that you're reading.
Yeah.
Number two, it's like to try to be in the world. It is, we have to do that. We have to figure out. And when you said that, when you were talking about the audiobooks, it was like that it's a key.
Yeah, it's a key.
It's a key to unlock some of these cages so that we can let the birds out, right?
He really had a positive message. Like, he really showed me, I don't know if you guys could tell, but like, I have a disability, and when he was speaking about his disability,
I'm a 12th grade student reading on the 6th grade level. And you want me to go to college?
If I can get to a place where he is, where he's speaking to people, where he's changing people's lives, then I'm gonna be okay. Like,
however, my past me this thing on my face called pain. Look and listen. I want you to feel my scar. Like the Lion King, I was crazy and sang like Scar.
Right.
So again, I'm very visual. You lock a bird in a cage at a young age. A cage is tight. It's tight.
Yes.
Picture bird.
Yep.
Cage, right? Years he been in this cage.
Yes.
You take the bird out of the cage, the bird don't know he can fly. Because he never worked his wings.
Listen, so look at our community, right? Look at the community.
Yes.
Look what's happening. When you set them free, and you wonder why so many people feel safer in prison, it's because you set me free as an adult. You had me, and not saying that K-12 education is a cage, but it's a cage. You've had me in this cage. And I didn't have the skills. You never let me fly. You never let me see what it was like. I was ill-equipped to be out here in this world. And now that I'm free, I don't know what to do with it. So now I got to fend for myself, because I'm a bird and I'm supposed to be flying, but I don't know how to fly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to like steal and rob and do all of this, because I'm down here with the other people.
And I'm supposed to be up there.
And we're supposed to be soaring, and I don't even know that. I don't even know I have wings. I don't even know I have wings.
Because you never got
There was never connection to the wings that I had.
So Nelson Mandela said this quote right here: "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." So I thought about it. Reading leads to knowledge, right? Knowledge leads to wisdom. Power, wisdom, to me, is all the same thing, because when you have power, you got wisdom, or when you got wisdom, you got power.
Sometimes.
Huh?
Sometimes there's a lot of people who have power that don't have wisdom.
Yeah, but so we hope. We hope.
Yes.
But wisdom will lead to opportunities for you to transform your life.
Yes.
So what happens is, the moment I kill your knowledge, I kill your power. Once I kill your power, your wisdom, you don't have no opportunity.
That's it. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my next question for you is, how do we get our young kids to begin to value the power of reading? Because I don't know. I don't know. And maybe we don't know.
So there was a lady who asked me the other day, and this was just in passing, and she said, an older black lady, she said, "What is wrong with our youth today? You're in education. What's wrong? What can I do to help?" And it caught me off guard, because you hear the question, "What's wrong?"
Right.
But oftentimes you don't hear, "What can I do to help?"
Right.
And it threw me, because I'm like, wow, we're so used to talking about the problem.
Yes.
What is the solution?
What's the solution?
Let me say, so this just came in my mind, and I've thought about this student, and I remember 7th grade history was one of the worst periods for me too. I didn't know I liked history. I'm going to say that. And I absolutely love history when it's made relevant to my life. So I remember the student, and I knew that she was very smart, but she was one who acted out, but I knew that there was something about her. So when she walked up the one day, and it was all the time during the same classes, and I'm like, "What's up? Like, why are we doing this every day during this class?" And she said, "None of this stuff makes sense to me.
Right.
The only thing that I've read is that I was in chains, and I'm supposed to sit and listen to this for 7 months, and none of this is relevant to me." When we present our kids with things that are relevant to them, I believe that's a stair step. There's a reason right now that they are fighting like hell to take away the power that and the influence that Black people have had in education, right? Because if I turn that light on and let you know, oh my gosh, like, we weren't always just in chains and in this and in that, and we were something, and I let you know about the, Paul Laurence Dunbars that were, friends with the Wright brothers back in the day, when it was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
This was happening. It piques your interest to let you know that there's not always this like doom and gloom when you talk about education.
Yes.
We have to begin to present our people to where they are. We have to show the power.
Yes.
We have to show the heroes. We have to show the superpower that our people had in order to stand in this fight for as long as we did, and to overstand the fight, right? We didn't just we overstood it. And a lot of times when we showed up, it was our faith, it was our fervor, it was our grit, it was our grind that made us, that made, and that's what we hold on to. For those of us who have gotten it, we know.
Yes.
We pull from our ancestors, and that's what we do. And we have to make that connection to our kids.
Yes, we
have to do that. And it's through reading, and it's like unlocking that. It's music is the same.
Yeah.
Music and reading, and it's like for those kids all of the kids love music. Why? Because it tells a story. Poetry does the same thing.
Right.
It just doesn't have the music behind it. So when you show them the books of Tupac, and you show them the Nikki Giovanni's, and oh my God, and you show them the Langston Hughes, this is a story. It's the same story.
Yes, yes. And one thing we have to stop doing as a culture, we have to stop dwelling and blaming
We got to move.
what happened in the past. We still got to move forward, though.
There were still people in every space, and that's why I'm saying. So when you show me that all just the oppressed, man, no, in every space, in every decade, there were people who rose.
Yes.
And those are the people that you have to highlight in each and every, because what it does, it's a power. It gives you a super, like, what? Yeah. So if they were doing that back then, that's the same blood that you have running through your veins, and you can do it. And that's that. That's it.
And it's time for us to rise. Stop making excuses.
Yeah.
Okay, we struggle with reading. Yeah. Okay, like it's cool. Keep working that skill though, because the more you work that skill, the more you're gonna get better.
Absolutely.
I promise you. It's too many tools out here that we can use. Yes. Audiobook. Or you looking up something on the website. I can highlight this on this MacBook and I can tell it to read it to me. It's so many different
what is it?
ways.
Dragonfly that will write for you.
Yes.
When I found that out, and again, and I told you, I can say full transparency, was doing something for someone the other day, and they were like, yours is AI, and I'm like, it's not.
Right.
It's not. But there's so many tools, and shout out to your coaching partner who said, good. We have to teach our kids how to use these tools.
Yes.
We have to, because they're tools that will unlock the door for you to be in the spaces that you need to be in.
Because we're not telling them to use the tools to cheat the system.
That's it.
We're telling them to use the tools to help you elevate and to help you grow.
That's it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One thing that I am so proud of, I didn't accomplish a lot of things in my life, Ebony. Seriously, a lot of things. The one thing that I am so proud of myself that I accomplished was this right here. This right here.
Yep.
I was able to write a book. You feel me? Like growing up with my learning disability, not being able to read, struggle with writing, man, I was able to write a book. Yep. And here's the thing.
Yes.
AI helped me write this book.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Even though it's a tool, listen, even though it's a tool to use, AI didn't help me write this book.
Yes. Yes.
AI didn't help me write this book.
Yes.
I use my knowledge, my ability, my
story.
circumstances, my stories, all that to help me write this book, man. And this is the best thing that I done did. Marry my wife too. I gotta say that because she's that. My wife. The second best thing that I done did. You know what I mean? Like, but
that's a personal accomplishment for real. Yeah. And like you said, and it's a personal accomplishment for you, and it puts me in the space of my dad.
Yeah.
Because I told you he wrote a book too, and it was like to go from being the kid to where, telling part of his story, to where he was trying to. Get rid of the buildings, the school buildings, to being the one to where you're writing the books. It was such a proud like daughter moment to know that, from skip, I wouldn't go to those classes. I'm not learning that. To be able to do that, that was a proud moment for me to see that, right? It's one thing if you did not have that struggle. It's like, oh yeah, people could kick out books, but when you started from, and you're okay with sharing that story. And I think that many of us need to be more comfortable sharing the story because there's a vulnerability when you do. Because where people see you now, they're like, oh man, you wrote a book, but they don't know the what it took, right?
Right.
I was you. I was that kid.
Yes.
No, that's what and so I tell my students that like, no, like, yeah, you see me right now and all these books are on my shelf. But like you said, I do that for a reason because there was a time to where I couldn't.
Facts.
So me reading, you might see me and I'm reading 3 or 4 books, but I know there was a time to where I couldn't do that. Right. So for me, it's a little sweeter versus that person who, this is what we've been doing forever. Yeah.
So in the state that we are in right now, what would you say to our school system, parents, and community leaders on how we all can come together to make sure all kids are being educated properly? Because what we do is, I feel like the school system want to blame it on the parents. The parents want to blame it on the school system, or the parents and the school system want to blame it on society. Like, how can we all come together? Because we all play a part in it. Yeah. You know what I mean? We all, I think it's split down the middle. Everybody got their It's you got your third, you got your third, you got your third, because we all have to play a part. And sometimes as a school system or as an educator, I might have to pick up the parent slack because they don't know.
They don't know, and I'm intimidated coming into this room, right? So I go back to the story because I'm very grateful for the transparency that was shared with my parents. And knowing, just from being from a large family, you see a lot of things and you are privy to a lot. And so whereas the school experience for me, because walking into my kids' classroom, my personal children, I know the system.
Right.
So when I come in, I'm coming in with a different confidence. I'm coming in with a different knowledge. I'm coming in with a different swag, if you will, right? Somebody else who doesn't know that they don't have that confidence. I don't want to be in this room.
Right.
I don't want to be here where you guys are now. You're not only berating my child, but you're sitting here and you're judging me.
Right.
Because my kid is doing this and I don't know.
Right.
I'm supposed to be at work and now I might lose my job and I might do, and so there is a togetherness. When I'm talking to parents and families, I say, because you never know who, it might not be the parent. And so we recognize all of the roles to where if it's grandma or aunt and uncle, whoever is playing that role that guides that kid, to where they're supposed to be. I am just here to support.
Right.
I'm here to educate, and I am here to come alongside your journey. And we start the year with our goals, right?
Right.
And if you don't see yourself as a supporter, you're doing this wrong, because you can have all the dreams and goals, but it doesn't matter.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
So before we close out.
Okay, I was gonna, because you asked me the question, and what I shared, the note that I shared with you.
So yes, we're gonna pull this note out. We're gonna pull this note out, and I'm gonna let you share your note, because that's gonna be the closing.
Okay.
All right. So that's gonna be the closing.
Yeah. Well, that's because when you said the call, I didn't answer that on purpose because I don't know if I can. And I told you, like, when your wife sent me that message, shout out to Sarah Jakes, her message, Rise Up, literally had me in tears at like 7:30 as I was supposed to be being an Uber mom. And I felt that in my gut. I felt it in my heart.
Yes.
Because what she was saying was, rise up. And it's like, okay, rise up. But what? Like, I don't have the skills to do so.
Yes.
And as I'm listening to this and I'm driving and I'm like, God, okay, this is crazy because this is not what you're telling us to do. And I had to, with my children at 7:30 in the morning, as we're, supposed to be going to training, pull over and get this out. Yeah. Because I felt like that's what he wanted to say to us educators and family and community and everything. Yeah.
So before I pass you this book, because I'm about to give it to you, again, I always look up words. Yeah. Because I need to gain knowledge about something. Yeah. Even though I know the meaning of passionate, because I feel like I'm a very passionate person, I still go back and look at that meaning. Absolutely. Because it reminds me, and sometimes it gives me a different perspective, or sometimes I look at the synonym of it. So, Pinnacle, right? When we worked together last week, I'm like, what do that mean? What do that mean? I gotta look it up. I gotta look at the highest peak,
That's it.
man.
That's where we're going.
The highest peak. The apex, the mountaintop.
That's it.
Then I thought about education, so I looked up education and it said success. So you are trying to help these young people
get to the mountaintop.
Get to the mountaintop.
That's it.
The highest level of their success. And here's the thing about that. The longer you live, that mountaintop continue to grow.
It grows.
You know what I mean?
Your learning should never stop.
Right.
It should never stop. And so so when you meet people, and you know this, you've been in spaces to where it's like relationships and it's like, oh, you've changed. I hope so. I hope there's change, because if we're sitting here and you're the same as you were a year ago, there's an issue. If you're the same as you were 5 years ago, if that student is giving you the same level as they were 6 years ago, there's a problem. There's an issue. This is now a state of emergency, because we are asking you and for a kid who is in the classroom day in and day out, and there is no growth. My God, what that does to the spirit and to the soul and to the psyche of that child. We've got to do better. And it's not a thing to where, because again, I'm an educator, so I know I've pulled my hair out, I've cried, I've sat there, I've lamented, I have done all of those things, because it's like, we don't have the tools. I, as an educator, I don't have them. As a parent, you're tired. As a community, it's the linking, right? When they say in the Bible, 2 or 3 are gathered, when we begin to recognize the power that we have together, that is when change will take place.
I know my calling. I know my calling. I understand my calling. And I understand that when the people around me fail, I'm not blaming it on the parents.
Right.
I'm not blaming it on the system. It's on me. I'm taking that burden. I'm not putting it on nobody else. That's my fault. Because that's the way I'm wired and that's the way I'm built. And I say that to say this, like, man, educators, and I say this to Talon all the time, educators, teachers, principals, custodians, hall monitors, security guards, resource officers. Like, man, all y'all are hold the keys to our kids' success. Because we should all be trying to help them reach their mountaintop. And the moment that we're not, the moment we see them flatline, Ebony, and we not continue to try to do that CPR and give them life and revive them, man, we doing them a disservice.
And that's the part to where that's education, because it's not all of the things. And so I know that, you know, old school people who would tell you, education when I grew up, right? Such and such could correct you, and this person could correct you, and then it's not that way.
No.
In the classroom, you can't say things to kids, right? Like, I could be one who says this, and the kid is going back and telling the administrator, she said this, and it hurt my feelings, and now there's a meeting about this. The power, I use this word, but I don't, the control, the creative control, right? Of how to run, and the trust has been broken. I will say that it's a trust that has been broken. And so now the educational system, whereas when my mom, it was a safe haven for my mom and for people, it's not. It's now where kids are running from. And it's like, what happened? You would think that things would be better, that, okay, if this is how it was here, oh man, we're moving up, right? No, we are moving backwards. And we are losing the trust of our community, and we're losing the trust of our parents and our learners. We're losing that trust and how to build, but we are segregated. By design, right? And when that's why I was telling you before we started, like, professional development days are the worst days for educators, and it shouldn't be, but there's so many other things that we have that are going on in our minds. And oftentimes the things that we are talking about at the PD are not things that are going to directly affect or have change on the situations that we're dealing with. And I don't mean like, oh my gosh, my kids failed this test. I mean big stuff. And so it's like the administration people who are in the offices are not coming down to see what's happening. And there's so much disconnect, and everybody is just doing their job and barely surviving and coming back to do it again. So for those of us who were on the, you know, we are there in the trenches, there's no connection, and that didn't used to be. You used to have it to where, you know, the superintendents would walk the halls, and that's why there's such a love for those superintendents who do, right? Who will come in and not do it for the fanfare and not do it they do it because genuinely this is where I still want to be. That are in the communities and that know the parents and that know the parents' parents and all of that. We got to have that. We cannot do it. We cannot do this by ourselves. We can't.
It's important, and we need everybody. We need everybody. We need all hands on deck.
That's it.
Here is your
in church. I'm not. That's a whole different thing. I'm gonna
tell
you.
Hey, look,
you know,
we can flow all night. You know what I mean? We can flow all night.
The calling there, because it's like, oh, don't get me started at the churches that are in the communities, right?
Yeah.
And you see it, and the people that you bring to the congregation in droves come to the communities and drive out.
Yeah.
And if your church, if you being in this area does not make this community better, it's a problem.
Before you open that up, because we can just go all night. But I promise this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna let you read your thing, and we're gonna close it out.
It's not a reading of a thing. It's literally like notes on a receipt.
Yeah. Go through your notes on the receipt.
It's on a receipt.
Hey, we put our notes on. Any you get a word, we gonna write it on anything. It don't matter what it is.
Don't judge my receipt.
The church is key.
Yeah.
Church is key.
Yeah.
And Tracy Cosin, she's gonna be on the podcast soon, talking about her consultant program that she's running. We was at Mifflin Middle School. She brought in, it's right around the corner off the church right around the corner. What is the name of that church?
Oh my goodness.
It ain't
Mount. Is it Mount? Mount.
Pastor Wise is the pastor.
Yes. Okay.
I'm sorry, Pastor Wise. I forgot the name of your church.
And I'm so.
But they came in and they walked the building.
Yeah.
They walked the building, and I'm telling you, man. The lady was praying. She was walking the halls, and this is what she said to me. Because I'm like, man, I was discouraged because I felt like I was in the wrong place.
Absolutely.
And she stopped me and she said, hey, can I pray for you?
Yep.
I'm like, yeah.
That's it.
She prayed.
Listen,
and then you know what the lady told me?
Yeah.
She said, listen, I want to let you know God got you in the right place.
That's it. That's it.
And I spent 7 years over there
Yes.
with Mrs. Cosin, and she allowed me to operate in her gift.
And that's
I'm going to share a little bit with y'all with that when she come on. But the community,
seriously,
the church, and
that's it. We have
the
to
church
do better.
is important.
We have to do better.
I agree.
And it has to be a thing to where we've got to take the walls out. We call my brother the street disciple because he is not only a phenomenal barber, but the people that he touches and the words that he gives are the people who may never ever see a church.
Right.
And so we have to be comfortable with breaking the walls out of the church.
Yes.
In your presence, when you come in, I remember programs like Black Achievers, Lima, Ohio, to where they would come in and they would walk the buildings of South Middle School. And when the kids saw them coming, there was an empowerment that they felt because all of these people had amazing jobs. But when they came, they were not coming with judgment. We are coming to talk to you, and we are coming just to be, to let you know that you've got people out here. We are here to support. If you need a mentor, I got it. If you want to play ball and you're not eligible, we're going to get you together. Like all of those things. And there's so much talent and spirit that we have locked up in our churches, and it's like the connection needs to be, can y'all come over here?
Right.
But don't tell my kids to pull their pants up. Right? Okay, she over there listening to her music. Let her listen to her music, okay? Yep. I actually like the song she's listening to, so let that track play. And then if you want to go and say, like, we can't come in with this churchy vibe, like, oh my, because I'm already turned off.
Yes.
We got to come in bringing these babies back, and I don't know where that, like, it used to be, but we've lost that. Right. We've lost that. But
it's coming back. We're going to bring it back.
Okay.
We're going to bring it back.
Okay.
It's coming back.
So on my note here, okay, I don't do this often, but this is because my kids saw me write it. The question that you asked me, I wish you, what is it that we can do? What is it that we should do as a community, as the educators, as the families, as a support system? This was it as I was listening to the message. We got to glow up. We got to grow up. We got to stay up. We got to pray up. We got to rest up. We got to level up. We got to rise up. We got to thrive up. Put up and never shut up. Get up and stand up. But above all else, never ever give up. The race isn't given to the swift nor to the strong, but for those who endure to the end. And the message was to be encouraged because our nation needs us now.
So it's time to level up and do our part. Thank you for tuning in to TRILL TV. And remember, if it ain't TRILL TV, it ain't real TV. Thank you.
Yeah.